Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. First of all, let me thank ECE Club to organize a wonderful webinar today, which is on digital classroom for young learners. So can you all see me and can hear me? If yes, can you all say yes or hi in the chat box?
Yes.
No, you're talking to the
The participants are encouraged to mute yourself so that it won't be a disturbance. All right. Okay, I can see hi, I can see yes. Okay. So, okay, let's continue. Okay, you know that at this current situation, most of the teachers, educators, we are doing online classes for the children, even for any students actually, and even apart from teaching, even meeting among the teachers, everything is happening through online. So here, how many of you are currently right now, like in this, the current situation, still doing online classes? Can I see yes from the participants? Okay. All right. All right. So I wish that today this session will be very beneficial for all of you. So next, I have some soft reminder for all of you so that the session will go smoothly. If you have any questions, time to time, actually, you can ask in the live chat room, the moderators, myself, Dishanti Subramaniam, or my students, some selected students from EC committee, they will be actually responding to you. Also, Mr. Jerry, the speaker for today, will respond to you. And we do have Q&A session at the end of this webinar. You can ask if you have any questions later, and you will be provided with a link later, so you have to fill up the evaluation form for your digital certificate. And all of you are reminded to switch on your camera all the time and also mute yourself throughout the webinar session. So without further ado, let me introduce Mr. Jerry, the speaker for today. He is the founder and executive director of White House Education Group. And actually he is a graduate. Of course, you all know that, right? He is a very famous person in Penang. I actually graduated from University of Science, Malaysia. He actively involved in writing and publishing many series, and his latest project was on the formative years on monthly newsletter and young scientist series. Besides, he also certified trainer and speaker for early childhood practitioners, and also have been given a lot of training for leadership skill, to develop the leadership skills, communication skills, homeschool partnership, parenting development, and etc. And his engagement regarding training are actively involved in Malaysia, Indonesia, and also Thailand. Apart from that, he is also active in several bodies such as Penang Education Council, Penang Tech Dome, Penang State Library, and also Penang Women Development Corporation. So let's welcome Mr. Jerry to the session. Hi, Mr. Jerry.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Good
So
evening.
over to you, Mr. Jerry.
All right, thank you. All right, everyone. Hello. Well, just now someone gave me a shock. Someone by the name of CM just entered the room. I thought it was the Chief Minister of Penang. but I was not. I saw someone with nickname. He just put CM there. I thought, wow, even the chief minister come and listen to me talk about early childhood. I got a lot of things to tell him actually. Wow, I went to open kindergarten. All right. Okay. So thank you for inviting me, Ms. Dishanti, and also Segi Penang. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. All right. So the format for tonight will be a bit different because I know I did ask Ms. Dishanti. She said most of you all will be students. So I'm going to tailor-made this to you because as a student, I'm very sure you don't like to read books. You don't like to see a lot of words. So we're going to use a lot of videos today to explain to you what I do. All right, and hopefully we can finish early so that you all can go back to your Korean movies or whatever movies after this. All right, I'm sure during MCO, right, you all will be watching a lot of movies at night. Okay, so let me start by saying this. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. There we go. Okay. Right. So what we're going to talk about today is on digital classroom for young learners. So it's going to be more of a lecture style instead of, so it's going to be a bit boring. It's not going to be so exciting like a talk. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with a few numbers. 60, 43,800, 2.628 million. So these are very interesting numbers which I want to share with you for you to ponder. So some of you might have a rough idea of what this number is. Some of you might not. Before I review the number, let me say this. Whatever I share today, it's something that I do in my school, all right? So it is something that I and my teachers build up, and we actually come up with this idea, come up with the process, come up with the training. So it might or might not be suitable for your school. So the whole idea is actually to inspire you so that you have better ideas, or if you think that what we are doing is great, please I'm more than happy for you to use what we do in our school for your school. All right. So this is not absolute. Don't take this as a Bible or a law, I must follow this because Uncle Jerry said so. No. No such thing, all right? It works for me, it works for my teachers, it works for my parents, it works for my students and my children. So basically, this is what I do, and I'm going to share, and I want to inspire. That's all I want to do tonight, all right? So come back to the numbers, 60, 43,800, 2.628 million. What does that mean, all right? That means 60 months, 43,800 hours, 2.628 million minutes. This is what early childhood is all about. From a child, when the child is born, until they are 6 years old, this is what we have, plus minus, right? So basically, you will have less because they only come to kindergarten at 3 or 4 years old. So you multiply that, will be like 3 years down the road, it will be 12, maybe 36 months to 40 months. And if you look at all these numbers, 60 months, 43,000 hours, it might seem a lot. It is actually not. 60 months is what you need to finish your degree and most probably your master degree. But 60 months for a child means the whole world, because this is their first 60 months in their life, and it's the most important 60 months because all scientific research, all neurological research has indicated that the first 6 years to 7 years of a baby's life, it's the most important. It's how you develop everything. You develop your brain, you develop your physical development, reading skills, observation skill, communication skill. You develop everything in the first 6 to 7 years. And you as teachers play a very important role. All right? Remember these numbers. It's not a lot. It's very little. And there's nothing much you can do in these 7 years. So we must make sure we make good use of all this, all right, for our children. All right. Technology versus earlier education. It's a big mismatch. It's a big, it's a divorce waiting to happen. Seriously. Technology and early years, it's a very difficult combination because everybody in early years will tell you that children needs interaction. Children needs to be, children needs to touch each other. They need a hug, right? So technology actually separates us. Like WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp your mother in KL, you can WhatsApp your uncle in Singapore, and you don't have to be virtually there. During the olden days, you really have to take a bus, a train, or drive a car for hours just to reach Singapore to see your uncle, right? And you can't do it every day, right? So talking to your mother from in KL or another state or another country, or uncle from another country, it's not an easy task. But with technology, you can do it every day. And with WhatsApp, with Zoom, you can do it basically free. You do not need anything. So, but because of this MCO or this COVID-19, we have the interesting concept of putting technology and early years together. And that is a very interesting combination. And to make it work, we must understand that technology is not education. Technology is just a tool for you to communicate. It's a tool for you to bring the information to the child. You cannot use technology to teach. Why I'm saying this? Because during COVID-19 or during this MCO, a lot of people are selling programs. You pay for 50 ringgit, you're going to get an online program where your children are going to touch a few buttons. You're going to download an app on the phone, and then that app itself, your child press a few buttons, watch a few cartoons or watch YouTube, and then, oh, voila, your child learn. Oh, it doesn't work. In that sense of early childhood, technology doesn't work. Because whatever happens, children still need interaction. They still need to talk to you, listen to you. That's the reason why I always insist that you have to switch on your camera. Because if you don't do it, then might as well don't be a teacher. It's that simple. Because you must be very comfortable interacting with people if you are a teacher. You must have the ability to talk to a child, to make the child excited, to make the child want to learn. A child doesn't come to school and say, teacher, I want to learn. A child comes to school because you teachers make them want to learn. You teachers inspire them. That's the reason why when you do anything, the children will want you to acknowledge. They'll say, Teacher Tan, I finished my work already. Teacher Tan, I finished my work already. They want you to acknowledge them because children needs interaction. If they don't need interaction, then might as well they just go on the keyboard and just paint and just put aside, okay, I'm done. It doesn't work. All right. So please bear in mind that technology plays a role in communication in early years. It's very important now. And that will not change for the short term. And it's going to be even more in the coming years. And I'm not going to touch about how you're going to use Zoom today to teach or how you're going to use Google Classroom today to teach, because all of you are students of early years education. You're young enough. Technology is simple. The fact that you can actually log into this webinar via Zoom means that you know how to use Zoom. The fact that you can actually put a yes on the chat group means you know how to use Zoom. So there's no need to teach you how to use Zoom. And a lot of technology or today you don't need to teach because it's quite easy to use because it's quite friendly. As long as you know how to type, you know how to switch it on, you know how to read, you will be able to use technology. The reason why some people can't teach using technology or using Zoom is not because of Zoom, it's not because of Zoom, it's not because of technology, it's not because of the parents or the student, it's because of the teachers. If the teachers do not know how to use the technology to its advantage and how to incorporate early years interaction into technology, then it's a no-go. That's the reason why a lot of people are still struggling. All right, so I'm going to share with you a video. Like what I say, today is a lot about videos.
Uncle Jerry, there's no sound. I cannot hear.
There is no sound. Okay.
I think when you share screen, maybe you can check the box at the bottom left corner.
Yes. Let me redo that. Share screen. Wait a minute. Okay. Give me a moment. I need to reset the whole thing. Okay. All right, there we go. Dun, dun. Okay, you should be able to see it now. Better? Can you all hear?
Yes, can hear.
Okay, great. So you can see from the video, when we teach science using our online classroom, we don't use technology at all. The only technology we actually use is just Zoom, just to show. So we don't use any fancy program or fancy software to impress parents. No, it's very down to earth. It's just a straw, a piece of paper, old-fashioned explanation. We explain to the children in a very early years way of what we are doing, and that's how it works. So we don't do additional stuff, and this is something I want you all to see. See, that's how you use technology in White House. We do not use it as a way of teaching, but rather as a way of communication. All right. So what we do during the global classroom is actually we create a creative learning environment. And the most important thing is we actually create an ecosystem. An ecosystem it's about not only about the teacher or the school, the whole ecosystem. That means we're talking about the children, we're talking about the parents, we are talking about the programs, we're talking about everybody that is in the ecosystem of earliest education. Because in order for you to create a very meaningful learning environment, everybody must participate. If the parents don't understand what you're doing, the children will never learn. If the children don't understand what you're doing, the teachers cannot teach. If the teachers don't understand the concept, then nothing works. So it's very important to create a full ecosystem of when you want to do an online class. It's not about, okay, I'm going to do 2 presentations today, I'm going to present it and that's it. No, it's more than that. It's about what happened after the class. You know, we actually go to this, we actually talk to parents after the class. We help parents who can't do it. We actually help parents, you know, who children cannot sit in front of the computer. We actually help parents who do not understand how to use Zoom. We actually help parents. There's so many things. And when you talk about ecosystem, it's also about the character and the moral value of the class. A good example when we talk about ecosystem is that during our class, children are not allowed to eat. You cannot just sit by the side and say, okay, I'm going to, Amma is going to spoon feed you, you know, mommy is going to give you some food, you know, and and then, well, you study. No, we try to mimic real classroom environment because that's an ecosystem we want to create. So the whole ecosystem, and after 2-3 months of doing that, one of the things that we're actually doing now, very advocating very strongly, is that children must wear uniform when they come to class. And that is the last part of the ecosystem before we actually want to start physical school again. Because we do not want the children to not be able to wear uniform when they come back to school. We want the children to have that kind of mindset that, look, I'm wearing a uniform now. I'm in the classroom. This is serious. And this is what we have been trying to do. So the whole ecosystem, no eating, you know, even when you go to the toilet, you need to ask permission because that's what you do in school. So we actually create the whole ecosystem. And that's what you need to do. All right? I'm going to share with you about 4 or 5 videos, and then I'm going to explain what happened. So you see this video, what do you see? The first thing that you see is that my teachers do not type. We actually do not type because early years education, children don't type. What they do, they write. So we actually mimic writing. A lot of schools are trying to sell to parents. We have a beautiful online program where, you know, you can type the answers like a Google form and you type and type. No, at 3 to 6 years old, that is a wrong way of doing it. I mean, in my opinion, it's very important that at 3 to 6 years old, you make sure that the children write, hold a pencil. That's the reason why when our teachers use our worksheets, we actually use anecdotes. That means we actually write on it to mimic real writing. We don't do typing, we do writing. And that is very, very important. And then you can see all my teachers, they actually use a lot of technology to write. Some of them use iPads. Some of them, their computers would have special equipment to write, or they actually use their mouse pad to write. And it takes a lot of practice, okay? Some of my teachers, right, they don't have an iPad Pro or Apple Pencil or Samsung Galaxy Tab. They actually use the mouse pad to actually write. And it's not an easy task, all right? To write using a mouse pad is not easy, but it takes hours and hours of practice, right? And then you can see some of my teachers that they actually use a lot of balls, you know, they use bags, they use things that they can actually find at home, because that is why how you engage children. They use their eyes. They want to see, wow, what my teacher is doing. All right, my teacher is giving me a smile, you know, my teacher is saying hi. And during these kind of classrooms, right, we actually call out the children. So we have a list of names that we actually call out to mute and unmute. So that's the first phase of the global classroom, where we get everybody acquainted. So during the first phase, it was very, very simple. So it's more of the teaching and activities that attract the children, which is the real life activities. No computer, no apps, nothing. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Uncle Jerry.
Yeah, someone banned me.
I stopped your sharing so that people can see your face when you talk.
I'm talking. All right. So basically that's what we do. So when a lot of one of the things that we actually do is we actually call students by the name, and then we make sure that everybody knows that they are in the classroom. It's very important that children feel they are wanted. So when we talk to them, we said, okay, I see some names here like Yiling, all right, and then Yiling will be very happy that, oh, mommy, Uncle Jerry call my name, Uncle Jerry call my name, or Abu, So you have to actually continuously do that, and that's how we started first. All right. I see there are some questions coming in. I will answer them when the time comes. I saw this from Sharon. How many children is online? Just to share with you, Sharon, we have about 100 over in one class. That's in online classes, one teacher is not enough in the classroom. You need about 4 teachers to run one class. Minimum 4, not 1. If you have 1 teacher, it's not going to be a good environment. So basically what we're creating a good environment. All right. So I'm going to go to my next slide. Next video. Wait, share. Okay.
I think we can start to make our own teddy bear. Are you guys ready?
You have to listen so many stories about Mother's Day, and you have to do the craft as a bear.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay. So this is the next video. Okay, you see, there's a progression. We started with a simple class setting where everybody, it's a very academic lesson. They go through the lesson. And then we will slowly add on activities. And we try to make it very simple. So the golden rule that we did was every single activity must have a story, must have an art and craft, must have communication with the children, or a combination. It has to have. And of course, music and movement and singing. That is very important. So the 3 major components that we always think of when we do every lesson was there must be singing, there must be art, there must be storytelling, and there must be communication between children. These are the 4 things that are very, very important. So you can actually do a combination. Of course, the best is you can have all, but sometimes it's time constraint or certain projects or subjects you can't, do it. But it's always good to have these 4 things in mind. So every time before a lesson start, this is the 4 things that we want to have, or at least 2 to 3 that we are very that means a lot to us at White House. That's the reason why our global classroom works very well. It's because that all these things, right? It actually needs a real teacher. You cannot do this via app. You cannot just, put something online and just play a YouTube video and things like that. If you play too many YouTube videos, parents will tell you, why am I here? Might as well I go YouTube video, right? So these are things that we do. And these are the 4 major things, all right? I'm going to go to the next slide and we will talk more about that. More stuff. Share screen. Share.
I think we can start to make our
Good, Wenda. Cross the bridge.
Angel, please give me thumbs up.
So after we done the 4, the next thing is to make the children get excited to class every day. So how do you do that? We have more and more activities that involve the children. So you can see that from this video, the children are now starting to stand up, they're starting to move their hands, they're starting to move their legs, they're actually going to the kitchen to get carrots. You know, you saw the carrot thing, right? The teacher was talking about stories about carrot or sing a song about carrot, and then they start to grab carrots from the kitchen, you know, and they start to do things using their household items. So this is how we actually try to grab the attention of the child, because you do not expect a 5 or 6-year-old or 3 or 4-year-old to sit in front of a computer for 3 hours a day, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, right? That doesn't make sense. Even in a real classroom environment, it's going to be but the reason why most schools get away with this is because parents don't see, right? But during MCO, parents actually are beside the computer. They actually know what you do. You can no longer rest your way through. I won't use the word cheat, but you can't rest the way through anymore. You see, by right, in all early years classroom, you have to have a lot of activities and everything. But when nobody is in the classroom, it's fine, right? It's between you and the child, or you and your administrator. But during MCO, this will become very, very clear. And it's very important. So you have to be very, very consistent when you're running an early years classroom. I know it's very tiring. To become an early years educator is one of the hardest jobs in the world. You have to, you have to be doing everything on your own just for the sake of the children. And it's not easy. So during MCO or during this COVID-19, during the online learning, it's going to be even more difficult because someone did not switch off their microphone. Right, no problem. So this is the phases. If you can see, we started with normal classroom to get everybody used to the system. And then we have the 4 main pillars that we actually do so that the class gets, that there is some model around the class. That means there are some things that there's some characteristic of the class. And then we try to improve the communication with the children. We try to make them more engaged, so that they are more happy to come to school. Okay, online, all right? So this is the phases that we did for the global classroom. All right, I'm going to continue my sharing.
is the
So our next move was to get outsiders to come in. There's two reasons for it. One is actually to inspire our teacher, to sometimes give our teacher a break, because teaching every day can be tiring. And it's also to give something interesting for children, because you see, children has been looking at this teacher for so many months, so many weeks. So it's time to bring in somebody new, so that they say, oh, okay, there's something I look forward for. You know, there's something like, these are something like equivalent to our school trip. White House is very famous for all their activities. So we actually go to everywhere. We go to Kek Lok Si, Kukong Si, we go and we do a lot of mid-autumn some of the events where we have SEGI students with us, like our mid-autumn and everything. So in order to replace that kind of energy, you need to maintain the energy within the ecosystem. Because if everybody were to be doing the same thing every single day, everybody will get tired. So what we need to do next is actually to maintain the energy within the ecosystem. And with that, for White House, we actually get outsiders' help. So we bring in our friends from all over who are free, who have, actually most of people are free at MCO or during COVID-19 because they're all staying at home, and they are more willing to help us as friends. So all of them come in. So we have people from Italy, we have people from London, we have people from Australia, New Zealand. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, energy is very important. So once we do that, right, then things are more ready. That's the reason why we can survive 90 days online. If not, we wouldn't have done it. And I want to share some secret with you. During these 90 days, we even have new students and new inquiry. Not as much as we used to have, but we do have new students enrolling. And even the student enrolled, they started online classes, and some parents like, wow, we like it, we had fun. So because you see, when you are very positive with your ecosystem, anybody that goes into your ecosystem will feel the same energy. They will feel like, wow, I want to go to school again. I want to go to class again. I can't wait to see the teacher tomorrow. I can share with you one interesting thing. I think this is SEGI. Few of my teachers are actually ex-SEGIarians, basically, and some of my teachers are still from SEGI, are studying in SEGI. There was one teacher who is actually from Bukit Mertajam. Her name is Teacher Hong. So she was teaching some classes, and there was one day a student came for inquiry. So he came to our headquarters, which is actually in the island of Penang, which is in Arena Curve. The moment the boy came into our school, the first thing he asked is, where's Teacher Hong? I want to see Teacher Hong. They can actually remember the teacher. That's how powerful energy is, That's how powerful the communication is. They can actually look for the teacher, It's like, hey, I want to see Teacher Hong. Where's Teacher Hong? And this boy has not met Teacher Hong at all. The only time they met was actually online during lesson. And of course, we call their name as usual. That's the reason why calling names and communication is important. It works both ways. You want the children to be comfortable with you, and you also want to be comfortable with the student. And if this becomes a very positive environment, then the teaching, it's seamless. You can just enjoy your class. It's very important to enjoy teaching. Once you stop enjoying teaching, that's where the problem starts. And same thing with the children. Once they stop enjoying the classes, that's where the problem starts. If you hear what I say, enjoying the classes, not the program, not the academic work. Once they enjoy it, academic work, writing, spelling, it comes automatically. They will want to do it. Once they're happy with the environment, trust me, once a child trusts you, once you build the trust with the child, everything is easy. You are more powerful than the mommy and daddy. They will go back and, if the father want to ask him to do something, he say, oh, no, daddy, you cannot do this. My teacher can say, no, you cannot do this. Nope, you cannot do this. My teacher say you cannot do this. They will actually tell you this because the trust that you build with the child, it's so powerful. But the problem is, it's not easy to build. But once you build it, once you build the trust, then everything is very smooth. You can teach 150 students. it's not a problem because they are so focused on you. All right, okay. So I'm going to go to the next one.
Safe with some safety glasses. It is seriously cool, like so cold that if it touched my skin,
Right, this is my last video. That is also my last point. The last point is empowerment. After you have done your startup point, the 4 major pillars, you get the energy, you get everybody excited. The next thing to do is to empower the children. What do I mean by empowering? You see, the reason why I choose this video is because these are our friends from Australia. So they actually do a lot of science experiments with us together with our teachers. And then once you inspire the child, you have to empower the child. That is very important. So how do we empower the child in this instance? So once they see all the experiment, right, everybody got excited. Wow, everybody was like so excited. Mommy, wow, cool. Excitement comes in. So what we do next? We will actually come up with experiments that they need to prepare at home. So that's the reason why you see communication, communication, communication. So once your communication with parents are very strong, the energy is there. So we will send a memo through our internal app, which is called Little Lives or Mobile One. We'll send it over and say, look, Mommy and Daddy, this Friday, we're going to do this experiment. It's going to be very simple. We just need a bit of cooking oil, a bit of maybe flour, a bit of, food coloring. Of course, we have to be very reasonable. You cannot do things that people don't have. Of course, you're not going to ask parents, say, Daddy, Mommy, we're going to do an experiment this Friday with your children. Please go and get liquid nitrogen. Then the parents say, are you crazy? Where am I going to get liquid nitrogen? Or get some oxygen tanks, that doesn't work. Things have to be very simple. So once you do that, then the children will empower themselves. They will go and take their own stuff. They will get everything ready. They put everything on the table. And that's where the learning begins. You see, after so many steps and so many hours and so many weeks, the learning only begins when you empower the child. So the child will be able to say, all right, Mommy, next week I'm going to have science experiment. What teachers want me to do? All right, I think we need to get this. So the mommy will get everything ready, talk to them. So that's not only, that's another part of it. That's called the bonding. So the child and the parents will have very good bonding time. Mommy, I want to get this. Mommy, I want to get that. You see, that's called empowering the child. So once the child is empowered, so they say, okay, I'm going to pour this, I'm going to try. There you go. That's where earliest education starts, because that's where they explore. That's where they try. That's where they learn. That's where they understand. That's where they try to express themselves. You see, so that is what we have been trying to go to for the last 90 days. It's not going to be easy. It's take a lot of time. So that is why, that's how I want to share our journey. So the end part, always remember, is you need to empower the child. And that is only when you empower the child. Let me repeat that. When you empower the child is when the child learns. The rest of the step is just preparation. All right, so I'm going to go through my slides, a quick one before I get to your questions. Share.
Hello.
All right, so a few things. Since we're all here, recommended best practices. There must be a security waiting room. Everybody must not come in just like that. We prefer passwords because these are children. We do not want intruders to come in. We want it to be very secure, all right? Password. No recording. We actually get parents not to record because one of the key reasons is security. The other reason is that we want children to witness it live. There'll be some goody and friend that will record it and pass it to your friend because your friend cannot make the class on time, but that is not the real experience. You can do it in college, secondary school, not a problem. But in early years, it has to be the real thing. That's the reason why we say parents, no recording. We do not even give recording to parents. We do record it for our own purpose, but we do not give it. And I have heard from my colleagues from other schools, some teachers are doing it, getting it so wrong. I'm not saying they're doing it, they're getting it so wrong that I think they are making the teaching profession ashamed. A teacher must have their own value. You want to come to my class, you want to learn, this is my time. I heard that some schools are actually doing classes at night because some parents cannot make it. And then even though they do it at night, parents tell them they are busy, they cannot do it. It makes you have no value. Please don't degrade yourself. You are teachers. It's a noble profession. All right? Video camera must be on, security feature again, and it's another thing that we want children to see us, and we also want to see the children, because as much as the teachers are inspiring the children also inspire the teacher. Trust me. When we are having classes, when we will have always a good laugh every day. When we saw a child doing funny things, when a child do something funny, silly, happy, we actually take photo and share with all our teachers on our own personal WhatsApp group, because teachers need also inspiration. And the children is your best inspiration, and that's the reason why you teach. If a children doesn't inspire you, then don't teach. It's that simple. So it goes both ways. So we want to inspire the child, to learn, to empower them, but at the same time, the child is also inspiring and empowering the teacher. All right? Name of the child must be on the screen. This is very common, but it can be very interesting. Please make sure that we have very interesting cases. One of the cases that the child's name is so differently pronounced than the real name on spelling. So for us, it's a no-no. We spell accordingly, all right? And it's also easy for the teachers to communicate, because remember, there's more than one teacher in the classroom. There's 4 minimum. Hand signs. Please make sure that the children know the hand sign, hands up, they know how to say something, and then they might get used to it, because when you mute your communication, when the children say something they cannot, the teachers won't be able to see. So sometimes, there must be some hand signs. I'm handing my hand up. I want to say something, that is very important to teach the child, all right? Keeping on time. It's very, very important to keep on time, all right? Classes start at 9, means start at 9. It start at 10, means start at 10. Because we want to mimic the real environment. And this is also character building. And consistency is the key. Please do not teach half an hour a day, 2 times a week, all right? It doesn't work. It has to be mimic real classroom environment. The reason why the global classroom was success is because we were very consistent. Parents who cannot, we actually do our own counseling. We call them and we inspire them. We talk to them and say, look, mommy, it can be done. Give your child a chance. Everything goes, you know. And I'm going to show you a short video later on how this works, all right? And very important, these 2 key points, I put it separately, is teamwork. When it goes to online learning, it's not one teacher. Okay, if your school or your colleague will tell you, Jerry, this is your class, you go ahead, it's not going to work because you need support. You need teachers and to support you. So you're going to have a few teachers running around, asking questions in the classroom, trying to create the environment, all right? That will be a separate whole topic. If you want to know about how we create the environment in the classroom, that is a separate topic. We have a very unique way of doing it. We get 3 to 4 teachers, they ask questions, they talk, they share, they laugh, and then the children follow them. And that is art by itself. And of course, minimize interruption. One of the things that was very sad that I see some of the schools is that they actually have to stop classes at a certain time because they don't have a full, the school doesn't use a full, a full system. So like Zoom, if you do not pay, I think it's about $12 US dollars a month, you're going to be cut off in 50 minutes and you're done. And you have to relog in again. And that is very bad for the environment because children have to go in and go out. You know, I would suggest if the school doesn't do it, the teachers pay for it. It's, after all, it's just about 10 to 15 US dollars. And it does make a difference. That's number 1. Number 2 is, please do not use too many different apps. This is what is happening in some schools. If you're using Zoom, Zoom all the way. If you're using Google Classroom, Google Classroom all the way. If you're using some other apps, use the app all the way because children cannot be going into different classroom using different apps. Like what I say, it's a tool of communication. Why you want to make yourself so special? I'm going to use this chat different. No. If you're using Zoom, please, everybody use Zoom, including teachers, parents, students, so that the experience is uninterrupted. All right, that is very important. Don't mix everything. Don't mix and match. It doesn't work. Like I say, sing, storytelling, art and craft, games, communicate, communicate, communicate. That's very, very important. All right. Challenges, there are plenty, which I'm going to answer during Q&A. I have plenty of stories to tell you, but I have a video to inspire you. All right, look at this. This girl is 2 years old. Uh-oh, something is wrong. Oops. Emma, can you help me? I can't stop sharing.
I see a blank screen.
Yeah, I need you to take me out because I think the thing is hang up.
Okay, okay.
Hello. Maybe need to press multiple share screen because I think it couldn't be shared due to this reason.
Yeah, maybe because my escape button doesn't move, so the whole thing is off.
The host need to do that because I don't think so. Co-host is able to do so.
Emma, can you please help?
Mr. Jerry, try now and see.
No, I can't even see my own screen now.
Uncle Jerry, I've already stopped sharing. Can you
Maybe I would have to restart the computer. Not a good idea. Okay, give me a moment. Let me restart it.
The video that you need, is it the one with the video?
Something not right with the system. Can you see my face?
Yes, I can see you.
So this is going to be an interesting one. All right, I'm just going to keep on talking but then again, I need to check in. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me restart it and see what happened.
Uncle Jerry, the video that you need, is it Yuqing's video?
everyone? You can stop the music now. Okay, so you see, that is a very good example. The computer just totally hang up. And during classroom, that's the reason why you need 4. You need 4 people to run the classroom. So a teacher is offline, another teacher will come in. So usually we actually share the whole, like for example, you're going to have a story time, there's going to be a storybook, right? We actually share the storybook to a few computers. So basically what happened is once this computer doesn't work, or the network was bad, the Maxis line was down, we can just straight away move to another one. But of course, when you are doing training, you cannot because I'm the only one talking, right? But basically you can do that. All right, so I will try to share it again. I'm not sure whether this is going to work. If it fails, then you're going to see how. Okay, let me try to do this. Okay, it's 9:30. That should be my last point. Let me see. Okay. Share. All right, this is the one. Okay, can you all see?
Yes, can.
This is my last slide actually.
Go one class already. Come,
this
let's go
girl
class.
is 2 years old. Okay?
Go.
She can't even have the strength to hold the iPad herself using one hand.
Okay, where's your class? Zoom. Yeah, Zoom.
1, 2.
You see? So what I'm trying to tell you that even a 2-year-old can go into Zoom. Some parents will tell you that, look, oh, my children cannot sit on the computer. My children don't know, my babysitter don't know how to start. I can tell you it's all rubbish. If the first 30 days of MCO, the parents have done their job to train everything properly, this will not have a problem. It's all about the training. It's all about getting your children to sit in front of the computer, no eating, wearing a school uniform, trying to, get on time. And these are all the things that helps. All right. So this is what I'm going to tell you. So just to recap, remember, you need to start somewhere, which is you need to start teaching. And then make sure you have all the 4 pillars, which is very important. And then make sure you continue the energy moving. That is important. Get outsiders to help because you need constant motivation. And finally, make sure you work towards empowering the children. The ability to press Zoom and say that is my class, it's empowering the child. And that makes the child wants to learn. And this mommy texts me and texts us and said, look, my child looks forward for class every day. She will go, she'll wait and say, look, mommy, it's class time. She'll bring the iPad, she will start Zoom and she will start class. But if you look at this girl, 90 days ago, you will cry. This girl will be running somewhere. The mother will use the iPad and chase the daughter. Not the daughter chase the iPad. It's totally different, okay? They will chase the daughter. And hey, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. It's normal. All right? That's what things have to happen. So it's 9:30, the 5 minutes is 9:35. It was 5 minutes because of this. I need to reboot my computer. Okay? So, all right, everyone, this is what I want to share today. I'm going to go through your questions because I reset my computer. So you have to type your question again if you want me to answer you. Okay, I will start with Krina Wong. 100 children of mixed age group. You cannot mix 2 years old and 6 years old. Of course, you can mix certain, usually we don't, but of course during like exploration week, yes, because it's like a holiday camp. So we'll do 5 and 6 and then maybe 3 and 4. All right. Okay. So this is mixture. Recording, I'm in London. Sure, get it from Segi. I have no problem. Wow, this is very long. Is indeed fundamental to build happiness, as we know. for me, MCO is a great opportunity for early years education. First thing is, parents know how important early years is, number one. Number two, parents know that it's so important to send children to school, partly because they cannot handle their own child. All right. Third, of course, integrating technology into children learning is perfect, but it has to have real interaction. Why I'm saying this is because there are a lot of teachers who use technology as a tool to teach completely. So basically, they just go to the class, switch on the smart board, and they just click, and that's it. But children needs more than that, especially 6 and below. If it's older children, I'm all in for technology. But young children, because like what I say on my first slide, the first 60 months is so essential. And the essential part is not the technology, it's not the education. The essential part is the human development. That human development cannot be achieved by technology. A computer cannot tell your child to sit down and eat, right? So this is halfway. Okay, look, to record their findings, like what I say, it's too young for it, and there must be steps. You're talking about empowering. You're talking about the end part of it. Yes, when the child is empowered, they know how to use it. They are very comfortable. Yes, but you know, at a younger age, before the first few steps, it might not be suitable. That is my opinion. All right. How long is the class duration during per day? We have about 2 to 3 hours a day of classes. All right, every day. How do you connect with them? There's 100 children. No. We tried to use breakout in Zoom. It's disaster. So try not to do breakout. You have the individual classrooms. That's how we do it anyway. But maybe you can do it. 100, yes, we can, because like what I say, we have a few teachers. So we have a few teachers in the classroom. So each teachers will be taking care of a few students. So they know how to handle it. Like what I say, this is going to be a whole new chapter. All right. How do I teach student worksheet in Zoom? Because some school, I don't get your point. Like what I say, if you do worksheet, you just put it on there. Make sure you don't type. You annotate on the computer like a writing. I think you'll be fine. All right. All right. We are quite lucky because most of our parents have gadgets. We do have a few that doesn't have gadgets. So basically what we do is we try to help them by borrowing or trying to help them in one way or the other. But on our side, we are very lucky that we don't have such issue actually. See, Elaine, look, like what I say, there's stages. The first few stages of online education, the kids will definitely run around. That's the reason why you need to capture their attention. That's why you need to keep on the energy, right? Kids are born to run around, and that's their job. So it's a progress. So when they start to run around, then you start to bring them back slowly at time, and then that's how it goes. All right. How old at MCO? As young as 2 3 years old, right? All right, Margaret, I know this is a big topic, special needs. I think during MCO, it's pretty hard for them. Yeah, so. Oh, Xiao Yuan, Xiao Yuan. Okay, it depends on what kind of a program that we are running. If we are going to run real classes, like now we are running semester 2, mathematics, N1, N2, K1, K2, of course they will be into smaller groups. But we have immersion week, we have exploration week. That one we actually lump them together because it's more of like a holiday camp, basically online. So we have a lot of activities running. So that will be bigger group. So it depends on what kind of time or schedule we are running. So if we're running a holiday program, it's going to be big. If you're going to run daily classes, of course, it's going to be smaller. Rebecca, may I ask how many? Oh, we teach every subject. I mean, we follow a timetable. Maybe some of some of my teachers can share with you, right? The subjects, we teach about 2 to 3 subjects a day, like a normal class, basically, like a normal class. Next session. I'm getting old to give talks, so this one you have to ask Segi. Right? Anybody else? I saw there are some questions before this, so if you don't mind, if you want me to answer you, you can type it here again, because when I reset the computer, it's all gone. All right? Will not, but the other parents, if they're watching the class, I feel that they don't want to combine. Elaine, it's actually how you explain to them. It's your philosophy, basically. If you believe that it's doable, it's something good for the children, then I believe you have your way to talk to parents. You know, parents are not educators. You are the educator. You should know what you're doing. If you're combining science lesson 5 and 6 for a reason, I'm sure you're going to have a good reason, right? So don't let parents get to you, because that's the reason why they send your child to your school, because you are the educator. They are the one not educating the child. You are the one trying to do that, right? So if you must have a good reason to do that, right? I mean, a good reason in early years, right? Is it fair to do by Zoom virtual classroom? Fair? I don't get it, but for me, nothing is fair in this world. We are just trying to mimic the real classroom environment, because see, the biggest problem with this MCO is that it's too long. During the first phase of MCO, let me share with you this. During the first phase of MCO, we have, I look on Facebook, you know, sometimes I browse through Facebook and everything. There are some parents say, oh, during MCO, you know, we should not be doing learning. Learning is not the right way. We should be doing life skills. We should be doing something with our children. MCO means movement control order, Amelia. But my question to them is, don't you do skill development on normal days? Are you telling me that only during MCO you have time to cook with your children?
Yes.
It's like left brain and right brain. I'm always against this. For me, the child's brain is developed every day, every minute, every second. Are you telling me that your left brain of your child will only develop 30 minutes a week when you go to left brain class or right brain class? No. So it is ongoing. Early years education is ongoing. So when parents tell you that, look, you know, and what happened was that is like, look, they thought that MCO is going to be for maybe 15 days, 30 days. What happened now is MCO now is 90 days, okay? If they refuse to open the kindergarten and they open in July, it's going to be nearly 120 days. So imagine 120 days when the children go back to physical class at 5 years old. You're going to cram 120 days of education into them. It's going to be not a, Emilia, lockdown. It's not going to be a lockdown. It's going to be a mental lockdown for the children. Parents don't see this. That's the reason why you are an educator. That's the reason why, although it's in front of parents, they feel that it's not the right thing to do, but you must insist to do it, because you are the educator. You know that it's impossible to cram 120 hours of 120 days of education into a child. Imagine the child is 6 years old. She's going to standard 1 next year. What are you going to do? The child will die. How do you ask questions and interact? You see, when you say ask and interact, you're talking about a very, okay, it depends on how you teach, okay? The way we teach at the White House is not to teach per se. The way we teach is actually through concepts. So when you answer a question, doesn't mean you know the answer. Because in early years, it's always about concept. How do you teach tall and short? How do you teach spatial awareness? There's no answer. I can tell you, okay, this is tall. When the child says that this is tall, do you know that, can the child apprehend that this is tall? It's a comparison. A comparison and an understanding is totally two different things. So basically what we do is, we interact them with, I don't know, all of you are Segi students, right? I believe. I think some of you are going to go to the class tomorrow. We are going to have a virtual class tomorrow for children. And I think Miss Caroline is bringing a lot of students into it. So then you can see how we do it, how we interact. I think that will be an easier way to explain because it's going to be a long explanation, all right? Wait, let me see. How about parents' involvement? Oh, yes, Emilian. Oh, of course. We have nothing to hide. We are more than happy for the parents to sit with the children. But at the end of the day, parents will be parents. Once their child is empowered, they will just leave their child on their own to do their work. But of course, we encourage parent involvement. There is no better time to bond with your child, these 120 days, all right? During the beginning of online class, they were all less smiles, but more giggles and laughter while teaching. But yeah, of course, yes, Margaret. We had fun. To be honest, we really had fun. The children really had fun. All right, any more questions? Ms. Dishanti, I think there's no more questions. You want to wrap up, or Miss Caroline or whoever is still here? We have 247 people here. Oh, more questions. Okay, what if the child runs around? How do we control it? Let the child run around. Let the child run. You cannot control the child from running. You can only inspire the child to sit and listen to you. So you have to ask the question, am I doing enough to inspire the child? Am I doing enough to capture the attention of the child? Am I doing enough to communicate with the parents so that the parents will support what I'm doing? The child is born to run, okay? Will online teaching proceed from my, okay, yes, hello. Well, you have an interesting name. I hope that's your real name. Hello. Of course, at White House, we will continue the global classroom until end of this year. There's a few reasons for it. The first reason is not everybody will come back to school because some of them have, you know, they might be, some parents will feel more comfortable and safe at home, and we don't want to leave these children out. And some children might be, you know, have a small flu, and then we have to send them back because of very strict SOP we're going to have. So then because of a small flu, they can still go online classes. And if the government continues to have a 50% ratio, then online teaching is very important because we might have to balance out. So maybe some children will come at Monday, some children will come at Tuesday, some children come at Wednesday. So those who cannot come on Monday, not supposed to come on Monday, they can actually do online on Monday, you know. So yeah. How physical education? Hey, my friend, you saw, right? They were like doing this, they were jumping, they were doing, that's physical education, my friend. You can do that. No problem. You see one of the videos I show you, they were like jumping all around, hands up and down. You can do that. I have seen some school doing dancing as well. No problem. How do you
Mr. Jerry, maybe this can be the last question.
I'm okay. I have plenty of time. I mean, yeah, sure. How do you split your resources? Teachers at school do online. How do I split my resources? That's why we combine class. So that's the reason why, you know, like all the N1s, we'll put it together. All the N2s, we'll put it together. So if you have 4 schools and you have 4 N1 teachers, then you have 4 N1 teachers in that classroom, right? So basically, that's how we do our resources. Do teachers teach at school or do online? Of course, during the MCO, nobody can come out, so they teach from home. But now, because it's now different type of MCO, then they are coming back to school. All right, some of them are coming back. Some of them they are still doing in school. Do you do textbook? We do textbook worksheets. Do you have autistic students in your class? Not really. We have some special need, but they did not attend because they tried, but the parents not able to handle it. But if one doesn't want to come to school, but if some doesn't want to come to school, back to school, you mentioned if it's for those not, yeah, of course, we do teach N1 online. So basically, if they don't come back to school, they will not be left behind anyway. They can do it online. Is online learning going to be long term? It depends. it really depends, Evelyn. But for now, for the next 6 months, online learning is here to stay. All right, it's here to stay. So I hope this will help. Oh, thank you. All right, Miss Dishanti.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jerry, for your insights. It was
welcome.
really a beneficial session, I think. It was really a good sharing from you. Thank you so much for that. So the rest of you, if you have more questions, you can actually come back to us. You can actually visit to our page, ECE Club Segi College Penang, and you can also ask questions there. Apart from that, you can also follow this page so that you will get more info about teaching and learning in ECE. So okay.
Right. If you need anything from me, you can go to my agent. My agent is Melanie. No lah, just joking.
All right. So this is the link for you. You can actually fill up the link. You have to go to the link and then you can fill up the evaluation form so that you will be able to get your e-certificate. And the process of receiving the e-certificate, it will take about 7 days. So the link will be open for about 30 minutes once this webinar is over. So once it is over, you can actually go and fill up the form. It will be open for 30 minutes. So for now, maybe you can screenshot first or take a picture so that later you can do this. Okay, next. So do join us in Telegram. Students, you have the link above to follow so that you will get the updates. And for the teachers, you have the link at the bottom. You can follow up with all our activities and programs in Segi College. So thank you so much for all of you to join this session tonight. Stay safe and happy weekends all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Jerry.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.